All right, we got TJ Harmon here, Ball State baseball player. He's been with me since he was a sophomore in high school, playing baseball at McCutcheon. Been strength training with me for the last 3 years. TJ, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so basically what we're going to do, this is a sit down I'm going to have with clients. We're going to talk about TJ and best bang for his buck exercises as a pitcher, things that have helped him along the way, and why this is so important when it comes to strength and conditioning, as well as preparing yourself with mobility and flexibility to be the best baseball player, and for him, the best pitcher he can be on the diamond. So, TJ, the years that we were doing all the strength and conditioning here, what would you say had the biggest impact and transition to the field?
I would have to say squats. I mean, you got to develop your legs. You got to drive off. You use a lot of your legs to go deeper into games. A lot of pitchers get away from dumbbell bench, getting the stability in your arm, getting the stability in your chest. Really, the biggest one for me is flexibility. Our flexibility work. I mean, I'm still working on it as I'm in college at Ball State. You got to keep on it every day.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing is players and coaches in general, they have this attitude where you're either working all mobility or you're either working all strength. You're not doing a combination of both. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
That's very accurate.
Yeah, and it's not the fact that they don't believe in it. I think it's more they just don't know what the importance are, especially as a pitcher. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And the big thing is the higher level of the athlete, the more important it is for recovery, the more important it is for the actual strength training to be properly programmed. And it's also important for flexibility because, again, the guys that throw hard are the ones that usually get injured, right? Yeah. It's not the guys that throw 60 miles an hour that are going to have problems. So, college-wise, your first year, you just got done with your first year, you're playing summer ball right now after your freshman year. What was the hardest thing that you had to get accustomed to at the Division I level? And then what was the easiest thing that you got accustomed to? And how did that translate from things that you worked on in the past?
The hardest thing is definitely when you go to the weight room, you got to work. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, I don't want to lift today. Like, you've got to work at it. I mean, that's the hardest thing for me. It's like learning to turn on that light switch and be like, okay, like we got to get going. I mean, we got accustomed to like stretching every day, bands, or especially a pitcher like me, you got to do bands every day. You got to strengthen your rotator cuff. Definitely along those lines.
For sure. So players, parents, listen to that. You got to man up and do the exercises and work out in season. The more that you work in season, the more body falls apart, right? Getting in the weight room in season helps prevent that from happening, right?
Yes.
And notice he talked about band work. He talked about mobility, flexibility, as well as the strength. That's the whole strength and conditioning program. Strength and conditioning is working on strength, because again, strength is the foundation of all athletic qualities, which you've heard me say in the past. Mobility and flexibility, as well as doing his pre-hab, which is his band routines for a baseball player, is taking care of his shoulder, taking care of his elbow. And we've had elbow issues in the past with you, right? So we've got to constantly work on that mobility. And TJ's got some thoracic spine mobility issues that we've got to work through. But again, mobility, we're not all of a sudden working on mobility for 6 weeks and boom, we're fixed, right? That's a constant fight. Yeah, it's every day. We're constantly working at it. Now, what was the easiest transition to Division I baseball for you from the hard work that you put in the weight room in the past and from your mindset of changing to become mentally tougher as the years have gone on?
Being at D1, you're always going to have those kids that they don't work, but they're automatically there because they have a God-gifted ability, whether it be like bat speed or your arm. But when you work at it, you can go in the weight room and be prepared to know that, okay, I'm as strong as these kids. Like, I can keep up with these kids.
For sure. And that's the one thing, and a lot of people don't understand, is the mental toughness that you get and the confidence that you get from the weight training and from the strength training and everything in here. What's your favorite exercise that you think transitions to the field the very next day in here?
Oh, I would have to go with box squats.
Box squats?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. What is your least favorite exercise that you hate but know is good for you?
Core.
Core? Any core work?
Any core.
Awesome. He also hates sleds, so don't let him fool you. So, all right, TJ, appreciate you being on. See you next time. TJ's playing, again, college baseball for Ball State. Look for him in the future. Hopefully we see him playing professional baseball one day. All right.